Okay, so I decided to do the Led Zeppelin 1 graph, for my Conics project. To begin, I'd like to start off with the most difficult one to do, or one of the most difficult. It was the hyperbola. I started off with the x squared minus y squared, and then I had to put sliders under it because it was so hard to maneuver, and as you can tell, there are pretty complicated domains in this one as well. This is where my hyperbola was, right where the tower is. And I'm scooting this over just so you can see that the domain was so complicated, in fact, that I just had to scoot the other part of the hyperbola out of the picture, if Desmos will load. Thanks, Desmos. Um, there it is. Um, this was, once again, the part of my tower, and I needed to have, like, a curved area. The next one was the second most difficult, or the first, it's like a tie, and it was the main um, ellipse for the blimp that was crashing into the tower. Uh, this little guy, as you can tell, was very complicated, so complicated that I had to have sliders underneath it again, and I started off with my x squared, y squared, and then I moved it over because it needed to be shifted over and up one. And then I had to add in the x's and the y's. I had to restrict the domain. I had to change my constant out in front so that it would be like a different size, and it was altogether a very difficult process because I did not know how to maneuver ellipses. Next is part of the explosion type fiery thing, and it is my circle. But I restricted the domain so it looks like a semicircle, but I promise it's not. It's x squared, y squared. I had to shift it over about 4 3/4, shift it up about half, and then make it equal to 1, obviously, and then just restrict it so that it would be touching here and touching here because it bothers me when they don't touch. And lastly, we have the parabola found within the tower. And the parabola was the easiest one to do because all I had to do was set it y equal to x squared, shift it over about 6 units, 2 units up, and then change this so that it was narrower as opposed to really wide and provided structural support for my tower. Thank you for listening. Thanks for the project, Miss Lambert. It was tons of fun.